Right, 1 Kings 13, let's call this one, I believe, but my boss. And in this chapter, we're going to see the ways in which authority is going to provide some challenges to doing the things that you believe God is calling you to do, but reality is suggesting it might not be quite so practical. On the one hand, we got Jeroboam. He has liberated himself from the need to listen to God because he is now his own boss. And in life, there are times when being your own boss can be attractive, but it can also be deceptive if you lose track of the ways in which you're still going to have to answer to either somebody or something. And so Jeroboam is going to learn the hard way that even as his own boss, he's got limits, because even though he has restructured Israel's religious order, the new order that he has established still comes with some limits, and God is going to send him a man of God to remind him of that. But because he is the boss in Israel, he's got 10 tribes under his belt now, he's a big man. He is not going to want to listen to some raggedy prophet. And so as the prophet is warning him about the objective boundaries to what he is doing, he is going to say, seize him. Talking about arrest the man. And the same hand he uses to point out the man who needs to be arrested is going to freeze up. And he is going to have to beg that man to ask God to unfreeze his now frozen limb. And so the man of God is going to show him that mercy. He is going to pray to God, who is going to heal Jeroboam's hand. Jeroboam, being so appreciative that the young prophet sent to him didn't hold it against him, invites him home, says, let me feed you, let me give you a gift. But the young prophet is going to say, no, I'm under direct orders from God not to eat bread here, drink water here, or even go back the same way I came. And so that young man is going to head out a different way. But now it is his turn, because even though the young prophet does not find the king's status especially persuasive, he is going to be sought out by an older prophet who is going to hear the great things that he did in prophesying to Jeroboam. Which brings up another cautionary tale, one that we noticed in the life of David, and that is after a win, we have to be very careful. Why? Because in David's life, after defeating Goliath, he had to deal with the backlash and the resentment from Saul. This young man is going to have to deal with the post-win euphoria that comes with people who want to, probably with healthy enough intentions, want to cheer you along, but are doing it in a way that takes you off course. And so this older prophet, for whatever reason, wants this young man to come home and have dinner with him so bad that he is going to lie to him when the young man says the same thing he said to Jeroboam. God told me, don't eat here, don't drink here, don't even go back the same way you came. And so he is going to tell that to the older prophet, but the older prophet is going to pull the prophet card on him and say, look, I'm a prophet too, and I got a few years on you. Once again, my paraphrase, but the older prophet is going to prove to be more influential over the young man than even the king was. And so in going home with the older prophet, no matter how great a time they had over dinner, the word of the Lord is going to interrupt their meal when the old prophet is finally going to get a true word from God. And that's going to be, you're not going to make it home, bud, because you didn't do what God told you to do, which seems pretty crucial because we don't know what happens to the older prophet. But true enough, on his way home, the young prophet is overtaken by a lion. And as people passed by, they saw this odd sight where the lion, against its natural instinct, simply did what God sent it to do. And the donkey, potentially fighting its instinct to flee, simply did what God called it to do and stayed right there next to danger. While the young man, who humbly enough respected his elders, failed to verify what they were telling him against the objective truth that he had from God. Reminding us of this, there are times when people, no matter how seasoned or more experienced in our area, are giving us advice on matters for which they will not suffer the same consequences. And so a few weeks back, I used the illustration of A Few Good Men, a movie about a young man, a soldier who was on trial for carrying out the orders of a superior officer. The fact that he was simply obeying orders did not absolve him from guilt. And as that young man was carried away to prison, he was shocked that his loyalty did not protect him from the legal repercussions of taking bad advice. So even if we don't understand the whys of this chapter, the what is, even if the advice that we are given or the things that we are being told to do come from more seasoned veterans or people who have authority over us, we are still individually responsible for our choice to listen to bad advice, which we might be able to avoid if we are diligent, not to simply take advice at face value, but we're diligent to do our own research into the objective truth of the consequences of taking even the best sounding advice.